Mount Hood. It's Portland's winter playground. Not content to limit its appeal to the 30 feet of snow that falls on its flanks every year, the folks who recreate on Mount Hood, some of whom live in government camp, have done whatever they can to increase the summertime appeal of their budding little resort town. One of the relatively recent additions is the Timberline to Town Trail, which descends all the way from Timberline Lodge to government camp. Timberline to Town, because there should totally be a bike trail from Timberline to government camp. Timberline to Town. I want to ride the Pine in the summer, but I don't want to lose my teeth doing it. Timberline to Town. This is my first time mountain biking. Timberline to Town. Is it open yet? Hey guys, is there still snow on T to T? Timberline to Town. I rode the bus here. Timberline to Town. I'm better than you because I climbed here from rhododendron. Timberline to Town. Did you ride your bike all the way up here? Timberline to Town. The locals call it T to T. Timberline to Town. Put a berm on it. This trail is so very Portland, and here's why. If you're at all functional with a schedule, you can actually catch mass transit up to Timberline Lodge. For $2, you can load your bike onto the Mount Hood Express shuttle as far down as rhododendron and ride the bus all the way up to the lodge. I'm not kidding. It's a $2 shuttle, but it fills up fast, really fast. Probably better to just bring 2 cars. Better yet, you can just park in government camp and ride up Westleg Road to the lodge. There are 3 main ways to get yourself to Timberline Lodge in a fashion that will put you back at your car when you're done. The most reliable is to do the 2-car shuttle, although the lodge is starting to become just as popular on summer weekends as it is in the winter peak season, so parking may be an issue. The second is to catch the aforementioned Mount Hood Express down in Rhododendron and ride all the way down T to T as well as Pioneer Bridle to Timberline, which ends up being an 18-mile downhill with one 300-foot climb in it. The third way is to park your car in government camp and ride up Westleg Road, which is a little-known paved 1-lane road that goes all the way up to the lodge under a lot of the ski lifts. There is very little traffic on Westleg, and it is a pleasant climb. There is a fourth, less common option, which is to ride Pioneer Bridle up to government camp and then Westleg to Timberline, but people don't think you're cool for showing up to the lodge on your bike anymore. They just think you shuttled it anyway, so there's no point in being a show-off. Great, so there's lots of roads and trails that will get you to Timberline Lodge. The rest of this review is just going to assume that you got to Timberline Lodge somehow and leave the details up to you. When you're standing in the parking lot for the historic lodge, the one above the Y East Day Lodge, you'll see 2 roads splitting off, one heading down to the Magic Mile ski lift and the other one going to the right. Take the higher road to your right. After a few hundred feet, you'll see this parking pad that sometimes has maintenance and employee vehicles in it. At the west end of it is this trailhead. This is the trailhead you want, right under the lift chairs. Luckily, there's a sign. Timberline to Town doesn't take long to drop from the Timberline into the forest. One of the notable features of this trail is how little variation there really is in the tread surface from top to bottom. It's all sand and volcanic ash in one form or another. There are places under the trees where it's starting to try to turn into something more akin to forest duff, but for the most part, this is a dusty, ashy trail. The most difficult obstacles on this trail are actually here at the top, simply because the grade isn't constant quite yet. Shortly, you'll arrive at this trail intersection where the real downhill starts. Go to the left. Don't go to the right. That's illegal. It also wouldn't be very much fun. Be mindful as you ride this trail that it is in a subalpine environment on very fragile soil, and as such it takes a very long time for damaged vegetation to repair itself. So stay on the trail. Even when there are obstacles in your path like snowfields and downed trees, do not go around those obstacles. Go over them. If that's a problem for you, then wait until the snow melts and the trail gets completely buffed out before you ride it. You should probably do that anyway. Or better yet, show up to the work parties and help out. T to T maintains a fairly consistent 5 to 6% grade for the entirety of its 5.7 miles, so this trail is very doable for beginners. This is a hardtail friendly trail. One of its main appeals lies in the fact that it is the summertime equivalent of skiing the Alpine Trail or riding the Pine from Timberline Lodge down to government camp. So, I guess if you're a summertime employee at T-Line, you can still use the magic of gravity to get back to your squalid dormitory in Govey. Call it a workplace perk. Now go clean your bathroom, you filthy lifty. There are a limited number of opportunities for jibs and only a few kickers on this trail. It's basically a very long flow trail. There's almost nothing free ride about this descent. It's not a bad idea to stop every now and then and Just observe and enjoy this gnarled, tortured forest wrought of long, hard winters, short springs, and dry summers. It's certainly one of the most unique environments you'll find a mountain bike trail in. Almost every other high Cascade peak that could potentially host a trail like this is designated wilderness or a national park, so getting to experience an environment like this on your bike is a rare indulgence. Make the best of it and enjoy as much of it as you can. Timberline to Town is the best place ever to practice leaning the bike over for effective turns because the most common feature on this descent is berms. Berms, berms, berms. Lots and lots of berms. There must be over 100 berms on this trail. I'm sure someone has to have counted the berms on this. These aren't just incidental pocket berms either. These are built up. Someone had to go gather a lot of rocks and pile them up to make these berms. If you watched my Nebel Springs review, you'll remember I mentioned that the soil there doesn't hold features. Well, this is the same kind of soil. The only way to make these berms work is to gather a lot of rocks to build a retaining structure on the other side. This trail represents a ridiculous amount of work on the part of the trail builders. This trail gets really bermy from about the midpoint to a little above the bottom. The soil is loose and sandy during most of the season that this trail is open and rideable. That said, if you're skilled at leaning the bike and not your body, you'll find a lot more traction on these turns than you expected, even when they're loose. But do be careful. The rocks up here are all sharp pumice. Can't imagine those feel great scraping against the old elbows. So this trail turns and turns and turns through berm after berm after berm until you get to this confusing intersection. To get to Government Camp, just go straight down the hill. If you came up Pioneer Bridle from Rhododendron or rode the bus up from here, then you're going to need to turn right and find the Pioneer Bridle Trail again. Fear not, the trail is pretty well signed, but I do recommend you have some sort of mapping program to just make sure you know where stuff is. It's always good to have that extra security. If you decided to ride back into Govey, the trail dumps you out on this residential street that eventually connects with the ever-evolving, ever-improving downtown Government Camp. There are plenty of places to get beer and a burger here, so take advantage. Then go buy a lift ticket at Ski Bowl and go get some downhill runs in. The T2T Trail is a worthy addition to the recreational landscape on Mount Hood. Around late June to early July of every year, thousands of mountain bikers in the Portland area eagerly anticipate news that the snow has finally melted and the trail is open. It is not only a fantastic opportunity by itself, but also a successful proof of concept. It shows that a sustainable trail can be built and maintained in this area and that it makes a positive impact on the local economy, helping to smooth out the revenue stream, developing and maintaining the user base throughout the warmer and drier months. Mount Hood is becoming Portland's year-round playground, and thanks to additions like T2T, it is open for business for mountain bikers too. Now get out there and go ride your bike. Hey, I'm glad you like these videos, folks. I hope they're helping you find and share great places to ride your bike in the Pacific Northwest. Please remember to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and if you think you have online friends who could benefit from this content, then don't forget to use the sharing tools right below this video. Thank you for watching. Now, once again, get out there and go ride your bike.